What up, everyone? It's John Brown, the one and only Bandana Gamer, coming to you today with some gifts. The YouTube retro community is so amazing. And is so supportive of one another. We frequently send each other gifts and things we think a certain YouTuber would like, and I have been very, very blessed, especially following Siege, to met and continue to talk to and develop relationships with so many amazing YouTubers. And many of them have been super kind, except Do You Nerd. The whole sweet couple thing is just an act. They're really, really mean. Do You Nerd is amazing, sweet, amazing people. Everything you see online is kind of them. But I digress. So I wanted to show off some of the gifts that a few YouTubers have sent me, and just kind of express my appreciation for the gift and for just the amazing people they are. So I'm going to start off with, I think I'll go with what MEGADAN sent me. So MEGADAN29, great streamer. Amazing retro game player. No death run on Battletoads probably being one of the biggest achievements, and then of course he accidentally beats things, no death runs things in his sleep. It's kind of annoying to be his friend, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. No, but he's a really amazing guy, really supportive. If you've noticed, I've started streaming more, and a lot of that is because of his support and him just, helping me push past things in my head that kind of like, I don't know if that's for me, but he's a great guy, great friend, great support. Love talking to him about life and everything. And a while back, he got a game that he really loved in blocks, and he had a spare copy. And I said, I beforehand had said, like, that's a game I want to check. And since he had a spare copy, he went ahead and sent it to me. And that is Dick Tracy for the NES. So it's a really great game. I look forward to getting into it. Glad to have it in the collection. And glad to have something in the collection connected with Megadan, because he's such a good dude. Next, moving on, I'm going to... if you follow this channel, have been following this channel, you know that I frequently make stops on the Video Game Dust Sleeve podcast, and I have Video Game Dust Sleeves that you can order through Video Game Dust Sleeves on Instagram. He does dust sleeves for a good majority of the YouTubers that you should be hanging out with and following, and he also does game ones, and he does these 3D ones. And earlier this summer, I got one of my dream games, and that's Castlevania Dracula X. And I talked to him, I was like, oh man, I'd really like something special. Like, I'm not a complete in box guy, so I don't really want to like go through the hunt of doing a complete in box for it, or getting the box and the manual. But I want to have something that kind of shows it off. And I was like, hey, can we do a 3D dust sleeve for it? And he was like, let me think about it. Let me see what I can do. Let me do some mock-ups. And at the same time, I also ordered dust sleeves for the rest of my Nintendo Castlevanias, which should be popping up on the screen now. And he sent me a message back. And he said, hey man, can't really make a 3D dust sleeve work for Dracula X. The things are too small. The detail is just not, it doesn't work. I was like, cool, man. No harm, no foul. Can I just get a regular dust sleeve? He's like, sure. And so I get this package, and in it's my dust sleeves. He's also sent these pens and stickers. Really cool. And I noticed that the Dracula X one is in bubble wrap. It's separated from the others. I'm like, start clicking what he might have done. And so I open it up, and lo and behold, it is the 3D. He did a 3D sleeve for Dracula X. I mean, in such great detail. I don't know if this will ever pop up on any shot, but he cut out the space for the C. It looks phenomenal, and he didn't charge me for it, and he, gave me this amazing gift. That it's something he worked really hard on and used his amazing skills, and it looks phenomenal, and I'm so So stoked to have this in the collection and to be showing off my Dracula X with this amazing 3D printed dust sleeve. Like I said, he has a great YouTube channel with a great podcast on it. And he does amazing work. So I recommend checking him out on Instagram, checking him out on YouTube, getting some of his sleeves. All the sleeves he does supports the sleeves he does for channels supports the channels that they have on them. But he also just does these great, as you've seen, box art sleeves. Make sure you pick up some of his sleeves too, because he's just a genuinely good guy. Chris of VideoGameDustSleeves, one of the coolest peeps I know. And finally, moving on to 8BitGlitch. If you follow the channel, you know 8BitGlitch is a friend of the channel. When we were doing Contravania, he's the regular co-host with that. We will be getting back to Contravania once life settles down a little bit. So things got crazy, and I'll do a video on them because they're all great. Like, it's not like bad crazy. It's just things got crazy and like threw off the scheduling. But 8BitGlitch, he's my, I had such a blast rooming with him at Siege and hanging out with him. He's goofy, he's sweet. Like, I can't say enough good things about Sean, 8BitGlitch79. He's just a fun guy. And at Siege, we kind of had this little group come together. And my understanding, it actually came together when I wasn't there. And it came out because of a story. And other people can tell the story better because I wasn't there. But the story involved me. I had to leave the convention early. Just because to break up the drive. I don't like driving straight shots if I don't have to over the convention was like 8 hours away. I kind of wanted to get a head start so I could roll in early Monday morning and get some stuff done. So I left early, left Sunday, and Sunday night they're all hanging out. And earlier at the convention, some things happened at the Gaming Off the Grid panel. Do You Nerd covers this in their most recent Mailing Mail video, which I'll put a link to, because they tell the story way better than me. There was a potential of me getting an arcade stick for the Xbox. And then it just, like, in a whirlwind, it didn't happen. And, I personally didn't care because it was a fun experience. Had a laugh. Everything worked out. I got a free game. It was really cool. But friends hanging out had this great moment where a story built and built. And basically, they had decided I was a huge diva. I left the convention because I was so angry about not getting our arcade stick. And, I trashed the room that Sean and I had been staying in. And Sean had to stay behind and put it all back together. But like I said, it's not really my story. But then they later, told me about the story and I laughed hysterically. Because I am a diva. And I'm really hard to work with. And I do, when I don't get my way, I trash things. But out of that, there's been this little group, and that I then got incorporated to because they were nice since the story was about me to pull me in. And Sean and DustSleeves worked together and put together a sleeve commemorating this group coming together. It's Megadan, it's 8BitGlitch, it's JLove81, Do You Nerd, and the Siege 2021 logo, and DustSleeves logo up here. And then on the other side, the group became called the Salty Bandanas. And so he put some stuff on here that I'm not going to talk about because the story is mine and I haven't decided to share it yet. But of course, he has a new rendition of my logo. And down here in the corner is the arcade stick that I didn't get and that haunts me in my sleep. But this was really cool to get, and it's really cool. I want to take a second and say it's really cool to have something like this, and I thank Chris for putting it together. I think Sean for having an idea, but it's really cool to have my logo incorporated with all these amazing people's logos, and just to be to have this group of friends, and it's really cool. So I've been thinking about what game would go in this sleeve. And I decided before I started filming it was going to be Dick Tracy, so because that is a game that came out of this group and came out of me being in this group. So I'm really stoked to have both these things. It means a lot. But Sean wasn't done there with just a dust sleeve. Of course, he sent me some Patriot stickers because he's a huge Patriots fan and I'm a huge Atlanta Falcons fan. And some things happened a few years ago that we won't talk about. We won't talk about it just because I want to preserve my friendship with Sean. So he nicely sent me some Patriot stickers. But then he went a step further. And this gift, this insanely generous gift he sent me. It was in a huge box. I just was flabbergasted to open. I'll pull it up right here. Sean sent me a Xbox arcade stick. It works with the 360 one in the series, and I played a bunch of Street Fighter with it. It's a Super Street Fighter 4 themed arcade stick. It is too kind, too generous, too and also too funny. The idea that this the arcade stick was something that made me leave the convention, but I've wanted a big arcade stick for a while to try and get better at Street Fighter, and to have a friend out of the kindness of their heart just send me one means the world to me. And Sean means the world to me because he's such a good dude. And so this is just beyond above and beyond the call of friendship and how nice this is, and one of my favoriteest pieces in my collection because Street Fighter is one of my favorite series. It's associated with Sean, and it's now associated with the larger story of the Salty Bandanas, and it's just freaking awesome. So that does it for the gifts. To the people who sent me gifts, thank you for the thought. Thank you for the energy, the time spent, the money spent. Thank you for thinking of me, and then more importantly, thank you for being my friend. Thank you for just reaching out and making me feel a part of this larger community, feel so welcome. And yeah, that's really awesome. And to all the Salty Bandanas, that goes without saying. And to anyone, honestly, that I've got to interact through YouTube, I've had, because I'm a smaller channel, I have not had much negative interactions with people. Thank you to anyone watching this video. Thank you to those who comment. Thank you just for, occasionally sitting down with me and sharing in a moment. I cannot say enough of how kind you've all been, and thank you. So I guess that'll do it for this video. If you like this kind of content, make sure to hit that like button, give me a subscribe, and my friends, stay healthy, happy, and sane, and I'm going to catch y'all in the next one. Peace.